In this story, Junior will stay behind while his mother and brother go visit an aunt in Union City. He should tidy up, hide the government cheese, and get himself ready. A girl he invited over is going to arrive at his apartment and perhaps invite him to meet the parent who provided transportation. Junior and the girl will get something to eat, and he could tell a story about a neighbor who stored tear gas in his apartment. Hopefully Howie will not show up and embarrass Junior. Junior will find it difficult to respond to the girl's conversation. The sunset will be noteworthy. Junior's date may allow physical contact while she and Junior watch TV, though this is less likely if she is from Junior's neighborhood. If Junior gets lucky, he can brag about it to his friends, but this will probably not happen. The girl will probably be unreceptive, even insulting, in her insecurity. She may phone him later, but Junior should not pick up the phone. He should enjoy the solitude and remember to replace the cheese in the fridge. The narrative method in this story will remind you of the mother in Girl giving her daughter a string of directions as to how to be a proper lady. It might remind you a little bit of A&P, since that's a story that's narrated to a second person, although A&P has a lot more of the first person narrator. In this story, unlike Girl, is identical with the Junior who is going to have the date, because Junior is remembering that he wrote the instructions in his best handwriting so that the mother wouldn't think that he's an idiot, which a first-person narrator who's different from the second person wouldn't necessarily think of. The other aspect of the narrative method is that this is a how-to set of steps. You don't get to watch the evening unfold, you get to hear the plans for how it's supposed to or how it might unfold. The variable details and expectations in this story depend on the girl's race. So the characterization depends on racial stereotyping. There's a divergence between the authoritative voice that the speaker is putting on and the actual experience that Junior is expecting. So there's the authoritative voice saying on page 277 at the end of the third paragraph, if she's a white girl, you know you'll at least get a hand job. But by page 279, the middle of the first paragraph, she might kiss you and then go, or she might, if she's reckless, give it up, but that's rare. So the expectations of the person giving directions get less solid and more realistic by the end of the story. We've already mentioned that the character of the girl depends on stereotyping, but it's interesting to see how the character of the speaker is also depending on stereotyping. He is playing out a role that he has to coach himself in, rather than just being himself and letting the evening unfold. He's following a script so that he can get what he thinks he's supposed to get out of the evening, rather than relaxing and connecting with the girl that he knows from school. So the girl in this story is not the only one being stereotyped. The setting in New Jersey is one of those places where the well-off and the not-so-well-off live within driving distance of each other and interact at school and socialize after school together. So he has to hide government cheese. He's aware of his family's immigrant status and not having the home that some of his better off classmates do. The themes of this story are identity. Like we've mentioned, there are stereotypes depending on race and ethnicity, and sexuality. The narrator of this story is giving directions on the assumption that he's supposed to be having sex, but that doesn't seem to be something that makes him very happy one way or the other. And the role that he's supposed to be playing seems to be separate from what he would naturally tend to do if he were expressing himself. So in the last paragraph, when the phone is going to ring, he's giving himself instructions not to pick it up, although he will want to. So even to the end, he is coaching himself against being true to what he really wants.